welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I am your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen,
who, you know what today is. It is a feedback show. We've been slowing down the schedule over here lately. And honestly, I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it. Okay.
I'm not even gonna lie. We have had this week has been a blast.
I see what life is like for the rest of y'all.
Right? When y'all be like, I got shit to do. I'll be like, ooh, I see now.
Well, it's not that y'all have shit to do. I always have shit to do. That's actually the problem. I have too much shit to do. The problem, but like, when you're not writing a TV show and writing a podcast and, being a guest on other people's shows and doing your own show, I see how y'all watch all these TV shows and movies and stuff. I've been watching TV shows and movies now. I'm watching Justified now. I watched the second season of Perry Mason. I'm having a good time out here in these streets. I see how y'all are always catching up with stuff.
Yeah, to be like, Rod, why aren't you seeing this? Why aren't you seeing that? Rod, like, I don't have time.
Yeah, I've been slowing down a little bit, and I kind of like this. I don't know how long this is gonna go on, but it's gonna go on for a while. I think I like doing just a couple shows a week. We'll see. But anyway,
yeah, we'll see how long this lasts for. We'll be like, you know
what? But anyway, the feedback show. This is where we talk about the things y'all had to say about the things we had to say over the past couple of weeks, and it's very simple. You can leave feedback if you look in the show notes. All those are ways to leave feedback. The emails, the voicemails, stuff like that. The comments, our website, you can do it that way. On Anchor, you can leave comments on the polls, and you can leave comments on the you can vote in the polls and leave comments on the episode for the Q&A. On YouTube, when you go to our YouTube channel, you can leave comments there. Like, we really make it easy for you to get your opinion heard and get your voice heard on our show. It's not just a one-way street. All we ask in all levels of feedback that you leave, be respectful, be nice, be kind. Let's keep it that way, because we can do that.
I am sensitive.
That way we can do it back to you. You take the time to listen to the show. We take the time to create it, and we want to create we want to have a civil discourse in our feedback with each other.
Yes.
So, all kinds of people listen to the show. We're keeping all that stuff into effect. All right. Or taking into account, I meant to say. But the first and foremost people we always shout out on the feedback show, on the blackguywhotips.com, you can look in the right-hand column. And you can choose to put in on this show. And you don't really get much back for that. You can just be like, I like that you exist. I'm glad the show continues to go on. Here's my X amount of money per month of my one-time donation to the show. But whatever the amount is, no matter how much it is, whether it's recurring or one time, we give you a shout out.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte Silver, Rod, and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tied to the Black Guy Who Tips.
That's right. New honey, more money. Let's talk about it. Tabitha M, April G, Alexis H, Marlon B. Yes, Marlon B. Wanga from Down Under. Good day, mate. Tanya S, Dr. J, Tiffany B, Shirley Wong Esquire, please say the Esquire, Alfonso M, Lindsay B, J Full. We got Mr. Span, Mr. Span podcast, Palmetto Stone Magic, Jasmine J, James C, Autumn W, David C, Bambi, Dr. Professor Bambi, Latricia C, Unbridled Love, Kimberly, aka Falcons Diva, Kevin W, Jason F, Ken M, Derek LW, Lauren C, Zach from the Living Corporate Podcast, Tanisha G, Preston, aka Slang of Ages Podcast. We got lastly Dr. J again. So that's how long it's been since we did a feedback show. He donated twice. All right, y'all. That's it for this edition. Play me out, choir. All right. Let's take the time out to read a couple reviews. All right.
Yay!
Yeah, we write all kinds of. We do all kinds of shows, and y'all leave all kinds of reviews. You can leave them on Apple Podcasts. Make them 5 stars. Keep them nice.
Stars I see.
Keep them cute, and we're gonna read them. Don't have to be a certain length or anything.
Could be an emoji. We don't care. Leave them.
This one's from Trey Victory 1, who says, "Power Podcast Electric Revival. Empathic podcaster trying to get the 5. I'm a podcast fiend trying to stay alive. When they come to Charlotte, Mecklenburg, boy, you better not hide because the TVG WT family gonna ride. Ha! Love you guys, Trey Swindy. Thank you, Trey.
Thank you.
Love. This is from Keela, who says, "Love this podcast. 5 stars. Thank you. That's all you guys to say.
Thank you.
And we appreciate both of y'all for leaving them 5-star reviews. Okay." The onlyest and bestest kinds that we likes.
The only ones I see.
All right. Let's get into the comments on our website and YouTube and Anchor. Extra. Episode 2719, Occam's Racism. This is the title of this feedback show. Appia from Germany says, "I seem to be the wrong kind of white woman because when I cry, no one pays me. I try. Is this only working in the U.S.? Here, no one cares. Absolutely no money comes in when I do." Well, y'all don't have any black people over there. I think a crucial part of this equation is you need somebody that you're being very unkind to and using your power to exert very unfair will over top of them. And then when you are called on that, you start crying, and that's when the money comes in. So
that's when everybody donates.
Yeah, you can, try your best to go find some black people to oppress and then cry. But I don't know. Feels like if you listen to this show, hopefully you're not the kind of white lady that would do that.
I hope not.
She says, "When it comes to online outrage, I always wonder who wants me to be outraged and why. Most times it makes me engage more with some kind of media. Luckily, I never engage in online fights, and I'm a person who can get angry in real life, but fighting online gives me no satisfaction. One good response is the one I borrowed from Keith Malley, of course, of Keith and the Girl. Lots to think about. Thanks." She said, that
pisses people off.
She said, "I added thanks." Yeah, mine used to be okay, but honestly, that was when I used to go back and forth with people online. I don't even know what I was trying to get from that. And I think sometimes it's probably frustrating to people who even listen to the show. Some people that are just my friends in real life. Some people that just assume my content through social media. I know it can be a little frustrating because I can sense it. I'm still an empath. I feel it. I feel the pullback when I do these things, but I am a bit skeptical in the opposite direction of most people. That's not to be contrarian, just that I don't like to join in on the jumping of somebody. I just need to know why.
Correct.
And I'm not a person that tries to protect terrible people or anything like that. It's just literally, I see the world differently than I saw it 5 or 10 years ago. I now try to at least be aware when I can. We all get lost in the sauce some days,
right?
But I try to be aware of what's the end goal of this shit? What's the point of me trying to get some lady fired from Home Depot because she says she thinks she's too cute to work at Home Depot?
Right.
Or she said that people tell her that. How does that culminate to where 24 hours later she ain't got a job? That y'all, no one stopped to think maybe we are doing too much. Right.
And also the thing is, for a lot of people, particularly when it comes to the group culture, as a collective, the group never thinks, and what's next? What's next? What's next? Then what? Then what? A lot of times people go, okay, whatever their line is, and everybody just disappears till all of a sudden the movement isn't there anymore. And for most things, particularly online, I give it 24 to 48 hours. Most of the time it is dead. Maybe, an extra 24 hours, if it's something really popping, but it's rare that something happens on social media that's a week long. That is a rarity.
Yeah, I'm not even saying you have to wait a week or any of that stuff. I just really feel like because there's no shortcut. I just really just try to use discernment more, and I think people find discernment annoying now.
Yes, they
because
do.
we're such a we are such a immediate gratification type of, or at least immediate results type of culture at this point, especially online. Online is almost always immediate results. So I think you're slowing down their dopamine feedback. You're slowing down that process when you're saying, okay, let me think about this, or this is not the thing. This is not going to be my thing today, or I just need to look into this more. I'll see how that plan pans out. A lot of times I think people find it annoying because the whole thing is like, you ever played that game Katamari Damacy? No. But it's like a game where you like roll this ball of stuff, and as you roll smaller stuff, the ball gets bigger and you can start roll bigger stuff onto it.
Oh, I see you play that game with the little blue creature. Yes.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of online outrage is like Katamari. I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's Katamari.
Yeah.
Damacy. Yeah, damn, I did have it right. What a call. Y'all don't understand how clutch that call is. When did this fucking game come out? 2004. Your boy
that years ago.
Your boy got the memory. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm about to show y'all the game on here. But the point being, like, I feel like a lot of online like outrage movements is like Katamari Damacy, where you start with this small ball and you just roll it and you're just picking up shit. Yeah. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. And the goal is just honestly to make the biggest ball possible. I don't even think the goal is 100% to be like right about stuff anymore. I think a lot, like when you're looking at destroying people's work or, sometimes people's lives even, or just, like trolling people or whatever. Sometimes it's like, or just, we're hating we're hating the celebrity of the day, whatever. A lot of that stuff to me just feels like, we're outrage farming.
Yeah, and also, like you said, people who use discernment, people who their personality, they just don't make instant decisions. You have some people, their personality, anything you present them with, they have to process it, which is fine. Right. And that's not always a bad thing. Even though they might come up to the same conclusion as you might make it in 3 minutes. It might take them 30. It might take them a day to come up to that same conclusion, but they have to go through that process.
Yeah. And I can always be mad later. Angry emotions, depressing emotions. I feel like I don't know why people rush to get there.
Yes. And also the thing is, if you're somebody that thinks, or somebody has discernment, or somebody that's slow to anger, a lot of times, like you said, you irritate those people because, like you say, you knock their high when you come in with common sense. Be like, hey, dog, slow down.
Or just ask questions. Or just ask questions because you don't know.
And that's the thing.
Like I remember when everybody was shitting on Brian McKnight, and I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, can I get the background before I start saying he ain't shit? I mean, okay, it's gonna take 5 minutes for me to catch up on the reading, but I'd rather catch up on the reading than just be walking around like, I guess he ain't shit no more. Anyway. Back to this. Sean says, I think you are too hard on Sean King. He provides an invaluable service. For those that want to feel the mega church grift without the time it takes to go to those garish sermons. Sean King serves the community. He does so prodigiously. Without him, his followers will still be losing their money, but they will lose their time as well. That's a good point. While no one's looking, says the South and trauma. Many African Americans in the North are the people of the descendants of the people from the South.
Right.
Along with nostalgic memories, there are tragic memories too. Lost property, threats of violence, and actual violence are all part of the Great Migration story. Those family stories might not paint a factual picture of the South, but an emotional one. I'm 56 years old, and I remember my mother telling me and my brother, logically, a small town in West Virginia is safer for an 8 or 10-year-old than the South Bronx in the 1970s, but in her mind, it wasn't. I think believing you are safer in one area over another is a form of denial that many people use as a coping mechanism.
Yes.
Thanks for letting me share my thoughts, Desiree.
I agree, because as a totality, most African Americans are navigating the world the best way they know how in the midst of white supremacy. And people deal with it in various different types of ways. You have people that see it and won't acknowledge it. You have people to run away from it. You have people to run towards it. You have people to get angry about it. People get sad, depressed. You have people that they know it exists, but they quote unquote feel safe because they want to create their own utopia in the midst of the white supremacy, which we all try our best to do. But no matter how hard you try to create this utopia, whiteness will not allow that to last but for so long. And then you have to go back to stage one and acknowledge it again. And I think the re-acknowledging wears a lot of people out. So they just flat go in denial, and they just want to act like, well, that shit don't happen here. Like, I'm, and also for some Black people, you have some people that feel like they're special. I'm special. I'm above that. Like quote unquote, that's for the poors, or that's for the quote unquote lower class Negro type of thing. But none of this is true, because when it comes to white supremacy, we're all the same. Mm-hmm. It doesn't separate rich, poor. It doesn't separate. And truth be told, it's hard to get other people of color to understand white supremacy is white and everybody else. You're not special just because you're not Black. They look at you just like they look at me. They might quote unquote accept you and you can come into groups and be around them. But at the end of the day, a lot of them will look at you just like they look at me, as somebody beneath them.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, for sure. I think it is an emotional thing over a logic thing in a lot of ways. And it is the goal, like you said, to set up your own utopia outside of white supremacy. And like I said, I don't hear it as often anymore, especially since people become a bit more aware through social media about how stupid some of the things people say, like, well, just move out of Alabama and stuff like that. Like, people start to go, okay, let me shut the fuck up. I don't know what I'm talking about. Mm-mm. And I think a lot of times, at least for me, even with all the podcasts I listen to and stuff, I don't hear the South racism, that's bad, but up here it's fine. I think that's not happening as much, and I'm glad for it. But me too. It's definitely like the result of racial trauma and fleeing this area. And of course, if you flee an area, you think it, because racism was so bad at the time. And as a student of a lot of Black history, reading all these books and stuff, the main thing I've seen in all the stuff I've read is the absence of racism in the past typically means the absence of Black people.
Yes.
And then as you see these Black people arrive in places like Chicago, New York, all of a sudden the violence and the color line and the redlining and the exploitation and the all kinds of other things that it starts. It's like the only difference between some cases, obviously not all, but right, in a lot of cases, the only true difference between like the good white person and the bad white person in back in the day was whether or not they had proximity to Black people. Because once they felt Black people were encroaching upon their living space, suddenly the racism hopped out. But that is such a great point. I'm really glad you wrote in and said that, Desiree. The comments on YouTube, let's see what we got here. Okay, 0 comments on YouTube for Occam's racism, if I'm making sure that's right. Yep. And then let's check the poll and the comments on the Q&A. The poll: have you ever rented a city bike or something like it? 86% no, 13% yes.
I'm scared of not really the city bikes. I'm scared of them scooter things.
Okay. Well, something like it. That's a city bike, basically.
Okay, I'm scared of those. Reason why is because I see motherfuckers ride them and they don't know how to ride them. I see them on it with bare feet, not bare feet, but like open-toed shoes, like fucking themselves up. I was like, no, thank you. I don't want to ride something that I could break my neck on, and I don't know how to ride it.
All right. The poll results are 17% yes, 83% no on Spotify. The Q&A on Spotify: no more scammer sob stories. Coach Malik says yes, I cannot wait for the January 6th. Oh wait, actually, you know what? Let me approve all these comments so that the people on Spotify can see that people are leaving comments. That's my bad. All right. He says, yes, I cannot wait for the January 6th Jailbird special episode. I'm like a kid on Christmas Eve. Wallace says, aka Blue White Wave Rider, I'm a little tired of scammer sob stories myself, but Talcum X is a creative scammer. Did you know he used to be a preacher? Yeah, I did know. I know so much about this man. Honestly, I wish I didn't know.
Right. It's not that I want to know.
Like, I am of the belief that oh man, I don't want to denigrate too many people, but I just don't think there's a way around it. I'm of the belief that almost all the activists we've been introduced to via social media, and maybe it goes back before them, but definitely via social media, almost all of them have a level of ego tied up into this shit that is a bit unsavory for most people. It can be off-putting because it just works in hand in hand. You almost can't be an activist without branding,
right?
But you can't be a brand these days. Like, a brand is bigger than a person, and it puts people in a position where they have to separate themselves from the other activists. And I still feel how I feel after a few years. All the fucking beefing and fighting and shit, I don't like it. And it's human. And they don't have to like each other, but it just feels like when your whole thing is about some big ass cause, and every day I look on social media, you fighting some other nigga, I'm just like, why do you think I give a fuck which one of you is the one that gets us to whatever the goal is? I don't care.
Don't care.
If what I would like to do is not be killed by the cops.
Right.
Both of y'all say y'all can do it, but you can't do it together because something you don't like each other, or something about the money, or something about I don't give a fuck. And honestly, if the kind of people that give a fuck about that, they don't give a fuck about that cause anymore. Like, whenever I see people egging on the activists and each other's mentions, and like, because what you ain't never seen me do, I follow these activists, and some of them, cool with me, whatever. You've never seen me quote tweeting them and like tagging people or going in they mention like, hey, so-and-so said such about you. Because honestly, I feel like that is so counterproductive. And the people that come running to that, they just want to fight.
Yes, they don't care.
Mess. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care who it is. Right. They, like, you let them
pump about your goals or anything.
You let them people pump you up, and the next thing you know, you've been spending days online fighting with some motherfucker, and at the end of the day, everyone's going to use everything that was said to discredit both of you. So, and I get it. It's hard. You're human. You're in the middle of something. So, it's hard to push that kind of ego aside.
Yeah.
The activists that I respect or like mostly are people that I see push their egos to the side for the greater good, because that's something I respect. It's something I strive to myself. It's hard to do.
Yes, it is.
But at the end of the day, I feel about Sean King the way I feel about a lot of these motherfuckers. And that's just the truth, man. Like, I'm never gonna try to denigrate people. I don't try to spread like right-wing conspiracies, but like, so it's a sad state of affairs where like the right-wing trash websites will be the only ones that will like publish something that's like, hey, this is kind of fucked up what this person did with this money. And everyone has to be on the opposite side because, like, oh no, the Daily Mail reported that. But if it happened, then it's a fact. And the only reason the rest of us don't talk about it is because we scared of looking like we're not down for the cause.
Right.
To me, that's just as fucked up. I don't want to live. That's not the truth either. That's not fair either. That's not what they sold me when they told me this is the cause I'm donating to. So yeah, all that stuff to say, like, I think a lot of this shit is kind of scammy.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it don't seem like the money or that's being raised, whether it's going to a mansion or some other idea of freedom for these folks, whatever it's going to, it don't seem like it's changing the results on the ground for people getting, like, whether it's killed by police, racially discriminated in housing, racially discriminated financially. It don't seem like these resources are being put to work. I know people that's working on the ground that are fucking broke.
Yes.
And I don't know how, after all this causes and all this money, I'm still looking at people struggling to survive that I know put their feet on the ground to do this work. I don't know how we're 10 years removed and that's still happening to people. It's, from Trayvon Martin to now, all the GoFundMes, all the millions of dollars raised, and it's still people that do work that's like, yeah, I can't keep people housed. I can't keep people fed. I can't. It's like, man, this shit is, something's not right. And I'm not saying these people are the reason it's not right, but I haven't seen them be the solution to a lot of this stuff either.
Agreed. And also, I think, like you say, people are human. So it's one of those things to where when you start talking about the greater cause or the bigger purpose, I'm a person, I want results. And because I want results, the other shit irritates the fuck out of me. I don't give a fuck about none of it. What are the end results? Like, what are you doing in the community? What are you going to the door? Who are you helping? And those are the kind of things that matter to me. Social media is great. Social media is wonderful. You can get great work done. You can raise money. It serves its purpose, but it does not need to be the main focus. The main focus is, we're putting shit on social media, but y'all actually bring y'all asses here to the events out in the real world that's not online. And that's when, for a lot of people, if their egos and everything is tied to online, it's very hard to separate the two for them. Because, in their mind, that on the ground work does not get the same gratification. A lot of times does not get the same pat on the back, because a lot of those people that follow you and support you and some of them give you money, you know what they're not doing? They're not showing up to events you have and you're sitting in front of and you're talking to 25 people. But those 25 people actually matter.
And the thing is, like, it's probably just really fucking hard. And it's just, and I don't, like, this is the thing I said the very fucking beginning of all this. I remember when the new crop of, like, Ferguson activists and Trayvon activists, I remember when they were shitting on Al Sharpton.
Yes. We can go speak to Obama.
And Jesse Jackson. This is before even going to speak to Obama. And I remember them clowning them like, don't nobody want y'all here. We got this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, that's a mistake. And the reason I felt that was a mistake is because Al Sharpton has had the wherewithal to do the job you want to do for 40 years or whatever, probably longer than that now, gotten stabbed, like got embarrassed by somebody that he defended that lied to everybody. And people use that to this day. Got called a race baiter and an agitator. And he's just good for nothing. Black people said these things about him too, accepted it. Well, where you think the first person to call him just a person that agitates and is good for nothing came from? Definitely a white man.
Right.
Definitely a white person. So you're doing a white person's work when you say that shit. Mm-hmm. I know people that work within his organization. He created an organization. It's not just him. He's not just a single person showing up uninvited places. Families call him. Families invite him. Families, when they want to get something done, the family of Trayvon Martin called him because Trayvon Martin had been killed and dead for a long period of time. And no one gave a fuck until Al Sharpton showed up. And these motherfuckers were shitting on Al Sharpton, like, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you. You're old, just retire. Okay, cool. Half these motherfuckers, if not more, out of the game.
They gone.
They posting about they schools. They posting about work. They posting about vacations.
A lot of them retired.
They posting, selfies. They going out to they living life.
Yes,
nothing wrong with living life.
Mm-mm.
But you shat on Al Sharpton. You shat on him because you were supposed to be better than him. You were gonna get something done. You were gonna abolish the police. You were gonna get rid of the prisons. You were gonna, change the funding for your municipalities. You were gonna change the federal laws, and it's hard.
Yes, it is hard, and it's a lot of work. And for me, this is one reason, and it irritates me, and a lot of it I consider, and I could be guilty of it to an extent, and I'm aware of this. A lot of it's ageism. A lot of times, young people think that they got all the fucking answers. They think that they fucking know everything, and they go, "Nigga, you old. What are you here for?" But nigga, I've actually experienced some shit. I've been through some shit. I've actually. I can actually show you the trappings and shit like that, but you want to brush me off because I'm quote unquote fucking old.
Yeah, and I think they don't have the track record for a lot of them over the last however many years since they started talking that shit. They don't have that track record to show us, oh yeah, this is what I did that Al Sharpton couldn't do. Here's my list of accomplishments. They stopped showing up to these people getting killed by the police. They stopped marching.
Mm-hmm.
So and guess who's still showing up? Al.
Yes, he is.
Guess who's still at talking to those families, still at those funerals, still agitating, so I just remember that shit. So yeah, pardon me when I see you posting about how your new revolution is buying a mansion and hanging out by the pool, or whatever it is you're into now is your new, that feels like that was always about you and not about us or this cause. And that's fine. I just didn't need you to rope me in. So when I'm not as harsh on Sean King, I'm here for the jokes. But when I'm here for the jokes. When I'm not as harsh on Sean King as other people, it's because if I was as harsh on Sean King as y'all were, I need to be harsh on all you niggas. And I really don't feel like being that guy. Right. So I just look at it like, I hope they're doing the right thing. I hope the money and the causes they're doing, I hope all that money's going to the right place. But I don't know. And I'll never know. I don't even know what Sean King, to be honest, because this nigga being audited and he still ain't in jail. So I don't know if y'all telling the truth or he lying, if he bad with money or I don't know, to be honest. It's just a running joke, and it becomes the truth because it's a running joke. But I haven't seen anybody audit any of y'all's pockets. You see what I'm saying? So like, I don't know what could be happening in the coffers. I know plenty of people that talked of, I remember all those reports of how much money some of these causes raised. I don't know where that money went and who got it and what part of the community is being fed by it. The unorganization of Black Lives Matter, where it was our leaderless organization, and we got chapters, and you can just start a chapter, and then you got chapters being like, we never got money from y'all the central chapter, and we broke. So I don't fucking know is my point. Anyway. Renee Leslie says, here's more info about the IMDb account story. We're both under Leslie Renee, and she usually comes up first. I only know of her because this dude I once dated said, "This you? At least one of us got work." Raphael says, I am tired of seeing sob scams in my news story. Show me some good scamming worthy of scamming Olympics. Fuck tears. Bring on the entertaining and scamming. It's magnifique. Leash says, BLM messed it up for us little time scammers. I mean, those little time scammers. Autumn says, speaking of scammer sob stories, have you seen the Natalia Grace docuseries on ID? It's a story that's been told before, but this version is more in depth. I have not. I haven't even heard of her. James says, how in the hell should I hand you my hard-earned money for you scamming mayo hands when all you do is post pics of giving out peace signs, especially when I have a deal with my own health and insurance? Yeah, we saw a comedian last night. I don't want to burn his joke, but his joke was so funny. He was talking about people trying to raise money from folks feeling sorry for them. It was like, motherfucker, people feel sorry for themselves. It's like, how selfish are you? You need them to feel sorry for two people. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, I'll try to check out that Grace story, but I just haven't heard of it. All right, let's go to the next episode. It is recreational crack. We got 11 comments on this. Probably
What are we talking about?
Probably what happens when you take 2 weeks off. Abia.
You get time. You give people time to catch up.
Abia says, I never did hard drugs, but sometimes I wonder how it feels to smoke crack, for example. If it's so good that it explains the readiness to throw your life away, but I'm fine with never finding out.
The same. I don't want to.
Sean says, mayhem is the legal term used for the intentional maiming of a person. Sometimes legal terminology and general meanings can lead to some interesting misconceptions. I read through the entire Wisconsin statutes in junior high. Not the best material for recreational reading, but I had already finished all my comics and I didn't want to read through the Holy Bible again. Edit, it is a Class C felony in Wisconsin, so up to $100K fine and 40 years. Ramsey says 5 years, 5 stars. I'm voting for Biden too. Did you catch the article about racial gerrymandering in Alabama? Justices Robert Kagan, Sotomayor, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Kavanaugh agreed that in Alabama they violated the Voting Rights Act by diluting the black vote with new congressional maps after 2020. Yeah, I read it. I saved it. We'll definitely talk about it. But yeah, I was shocked at that ruling. I don't trust the Supreme Court, specifically, obviously, Kavanaugh and Kagan. And so I wonder, what's the catch?
Right. What's the reason?
Like, is this just it's too hot right now? Everybody's under scrutiny, looking at our finances.
Mm-hmm.
People writing deep dives on
yes, sir.
People writing deep dives on what's the coon? Clarence Thomas, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I didn't say it, but in my head I was gonna call him Coleman something. Coleman, what? Where'd that come from? Clarence Thomas is they're looking at him in Harlan Crow. So I think I don't know. Or maybe this is a setup because they do this sometimes incrementally where like Roberts will be like, I ultimately do want to take down this like abortion, but I'm not going to do it right away. I'm going to take steps. So this one case, I'm going to take it down a little bit. Then the next case, then a little bit. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, women do not have the rights to have an abortion, or people don't have the right to have an abortion in America now. And you're like, how the fuck did that happen? It's like, oh, incrementally. He doesn't like to just, bam, tomorrow, no more abortions. He doesn't like that.
Yeah, because people get angry and it's like, okay, now we have to deal with the backlash. Now we're in the news and we're in the media and shit.
People gonna get angry either way.
Right.
But I just know that this is the way he likes to do it. I don't think if you did it all at once, it would be any difference. But this is how he likes to do it. Pamela MA says, Biden for president 2024. I ain't got time for this dumb shit. I have had quite enough stress and worry in the last decade, and I would like some measure of peace. Thank you. Even if we have to continue to fight for it. All my life, I've had to fight. Regardless, Damson Idris, today is the day that I think Snowfall on... regarding Damson Idris. Today is the day that I finished Snowfall on Hulu, and goddamn, no wonder he was having nightmares. The whole back half of that last season had me shook. Totally underrated. And where were the acting nominations? They was robbed. Yeah, I don't know that Snowfall really got a lot of noms.
It did.
Going to download for the third time the last edition of This Too Much. Listen to it when I finished watching Swarm. Listen again after I watched Beef, and now I can savor it yet again. Thank you. Enjoy whatever time you can get during these spring summer days, Pamela. Oh, we gonna enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Jamil says the plight of the black bear is very similar to black dolphins. The black bear is scrutinized and feared by society, and they are harmless creatures. For years, whites have gentrified black bear neighborhoods and took their food. When we are told to fear them, when they are just rummaging through the garbage that they are reduced to feed their humanity. Every video we see of black bears is them running from people and dogs, but we are supposed to believe that innocent black bears are aggressive. We need to get this bear family some representatives other than Benjamin Crump. It's also funny to me that black bears are described as these large, intimidating beasts, when in actuality they are the smallest of the bears. But the polar bear is called cute and cuddly while being an apex predator. See, you see it, brother. You see it, Jamil. What the polar bears got?
The black bears, the smallest one. Shit.
What the polar bears got? Oh, they drinking Coca-Cola at the Super Bowl. Every fucking Christmas time. It's the holiday time. Bring out the motherfucking polar bears. The white bears. Oh, meanwhile, the white bear is the biggest apex predator on land because these motherfuckers have never seen anything they can't eat and kill.
That's right.
Period. They live in an area.
Fuck up.
They live in an area where they don't ever get hunted by anything. They just do the hunting. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, for some reason, though, they cute and cuddly and they get to wear the scarves and motherfucking Christmas time. Okay. But what do they do with the white apex predator? They make them a Christmas mascot, put them on a Coke bottle. See, you own it, brother. This is how I know you a long time listening to the show, because I've been brought this shit up. While the black bear gets killed for eating soggy lettuce and honey scraps out of a park trash can, peace and black bear lives matter. Agreed. Especially considering he shot this dude Hunt shit. He set him up and shot him and then got mauled by the bear fucking around and they killed the bear. That's crazy to me. Bear did nothing wrong.
Nothing.
Evie says Chica is a prime example of just because you can say it doesn't mean you should. People treat social media like their personal diaries and wonder why everyone goes in on them.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I feel like we're so far into this social media thing. If you don't know in 2023, I mean, you know what it is? You know what it is? Let me be fair. Half the time, motherfuckers will run with some horrible shit online and act like it's cute.
Yeah, they do.
So, like, I get it. You thought you were going to be in that half of the time where somebody does say something inappropriate online. It goes viral. Everyone can relate to it. They think you're the most hilarious, funniest person in the world. And it just goes like that. But half the time, that other 50%, people do shit like get you fired from Home Depot. It's the Wild West out there, bitch. I would definitely have texted that to Bossy if that was if that's what my life was at the moment. We would have laughed, dark, evil, black humor, dark humor laughs privately in our chat, and then none of you niggas would have known about it. You know, I got a handful of people that I feel like I'll even like we'll text each other when you get. I don't know how y'all do it, but you get the text is like, is this a safe space or whatever? It's like, go ahead and say that thing that you need to get out your brain that you know you can't say out loud to nobody else. Go ahead and say it because I understand that, and people are human and they need those moments. And I'm not gonna judge you for it because we all have these fucking moments. We have lost the ability to really express these ugly thoughts with no repercussions,
right? Because
we are doing it to people that don't have connection with us. And Chica, it's been several times that shit has happened to her. So I don't know. I think maybe it's just who she is at this point. There's certain people, man. I'll share the tweet or tell a friend or something. And there's just certain people. I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, this person because they hadn't heard about this person. This person had said some stupid shit online. And so she was sharing. I said, what happened? What happened? She sent me the tweet. I said, oh, it's her. Yeah. She's like a dumbass all-star. She's every once in a while, she just say some dumbass shit. And she was like, my friend was like, oh, I didn't even know that about her. And I was like, yeah, there's other people that I know where this name comes up enough over time that you're like, what is it about that kind of person? They just need to always be out there saying some dumb shit. You know, I don't get it, but
a lot of it's attention.
Yeah, I don't know what's in it for them, but
attention.
But see, you say attention, but I'm like, it can't always be the negative attention because like they must have enough positive stuff that like the ones where it's dumb and everybody turns on them and goes viral or whatever must be worth it to pay that cost because they don't delete those tweets. So like it must be some good stuff too. It can't all be just negative for them.
No. When I say attention, I mean all across, just attention, just right. The word attention, positive, negative, attention. Somebody looking at me, you know, because there are people. I don't believe this, but there are people that goes positive or negative. Bitch, if you're looking in my direction, it's all good. I don't feel that way. But for a lot of people, the foundational root of everything, even the people that think nobody watching them, why do you get online? For attention. That's the foundational root of social media is attention.
Right. Sailor Agnes says, all I got to say about Cornel West running for president is Michael Eric Dyson was right. Initially, I was squeamish about him running. Then it hit me that these are just unserious people running for office. They're not going to get much fodder across the board. Twitter's going to gas them up, and they're just going to lie. Biden is just Teflon. His voting base ain't stupid. These niggas are pipe dreams. Already stopped caring about him. Lupe Fiasco even reminded me why I don't fuck with his leftist loud and wrong bullshit with his West endorsement. Yeah, I see this. So this is the thing, right? With Lupe, especially Lupe's tweet. Lupe's tweet says something to the effect of, I have never voted before, but the first and only time I vote will be for Cornel West when running for president next year. And I don't understand it. I wonder if people get so, you hear Karen's loud, angry side just now. I don't even get mad about it. This nigga never voted before. He has had no effect on this process the entire time. The one time he wants to vote, he basically doing the same thing he did the last every other time. Not voting because Cornel West ain't gonna win.
Nope.
What do I care if the people Cornel West gets involved in the political process and gets to believe in voting are Lupe Fiasco type niggas? Fine. You've literally never helped us before this. Cool. So yeah, to me, it's no reason to be mad at that person.
And not really mad, just irritated. I didn't have to know that.
Yeah, I'm not even irritated. Do your thing, Lupe. You are supposed to make rap music. Just you make your rap music. You know, shit on Obama, shit on the left. Do whatever you need to do. I don't care. You have never helped us in trying to do anything to save this democracy other than rapping. So cool. Tom Morello, likewise, stupid gone stupid, and I ain't got time for that shit no more with these rat fuckers. They just want to be different. What did Karen say? Attention. Appia says, in my opinion, Biden is doing a pretty good job, especially under the circumstances. The other party has lost his mind. I like him much better now. Before he was president, I didn't expect him to be as progressive as he is. And he seems like a generally decent person and an adult. I'm not afraid every day that he would do something insane, and it's great. If I was an American, it would be the easiest decision to vote for him. Honest to God, it's the easiest one I've ever had in my life.
Say that again. It really, really is. I've realized that, you know, a lot of times one of the things where you have to look at people and go, okay, shut up, dummy. Let the adults speak. And they want to get mad at you when you call them dumb, you call them stupid. And you're like, you're just being a contrarian and you're just saying shit, you know, and you're not productive, and you're actually counterproductive to everything we're trying to accomplish by just doing this shit right here, you know, because like you say, if you say I'm voting for Biden in the end, people be like, why? What did he do? And you be like, oh, okay, why am I even interacting with you? You're just stupid. Or it put like this. Because social media is created for the devil's advocates, is created for the people that was like they just like to be on the quote unquote the other side, or whatever it is you say. Even if you say something really, really logical, there's going to be somebody that pops up just to say something very stupid and ignorant. But my thing is, it is a simple decision. It is an easy decision because these decisions actually impact us as a totality. And I don't have time for, my time is precious to me. And I remember what it was like underneath Trump. I know, you know, a lot of the American populace has the memory of a fucking gerbil. I don't. I remember waking up every day, not knowing what was going to happen, not knowing what was going on, being stressed, being worried about all the time. It is periods of times now where I can just check out. I'd be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about what's happening in the news. Because I know that I'm not going to turn on the TV and it's going to be like, we're going to war. I'm not going to see that.
That's one of the reasons MSNBC, CNN, all these places are trying to find ways to get Trump content back on the air, is because at least then you were watching. The thing for me with Biden, he's honestly easier to vote for even than Obama, and I love the Obamas. Like, I'm not like these new niggas. The Obamas, I might as well get the tattoos. I don't give a fuck how it makes me look.
Right.
I'm black, but I hate the Obamas. Is just a weird type of nigga I don't necessarily relate to. But that being said, Biden has done a great job, and unlike the Obamas, I don't have to consider the white backlash to Biden. At the end of the day, people let him cook because he is an old white dude.
Correct.
And once he does something, it becomes enough, or the new normal. And even when I see like people I respect like shit on Biden, I don't feel any need to protect them, because I'm like, yeah, but you at the end of the day, you still gonna vote for him because you've been voting for white men your whole fucking life, and you don't have whatever it is inside of you that made you be like, I ain't voting for Obama, whatever you want to call it, racism, whatever you want to call it, that made you go, I ain't voting for Hillary Clinton, whatever, I'm gonna shit on her. And I would listen to people shit on those groups, and I feel like a level of protection about them, like, hey, calm the fuck down with that bullshit. We're gonna lose because of you. And now I'm just like, yeah, say what you want to say, because if we lose because of Biden, it's just white people ain't shit. It's that simple to me.
Yes, it is.
It won't be because I didn't vote. It won't be because most black people didn't see the seriousness of it and vote Democrat. It'll be just white people ain't shit, and it wouldn't have been nothing we could have did either way. This is exactly what we need: an old white man who governs progressively and gets shit done. That's it.
Yep.
Back to this. EVE says, did she leave this comment twice? Oh, okay. Chica's a prime example. And then wonder why they're being attacked. Sorry, got post before I finished the sentence. Oh, okay. Mary says about the chatbot replacing humans in the hotline. I was wondering if this is a big deal for the younger generation. I worked in a law office, and there's a distinct divide between senior attorney staff and those aged 21 years and younger about using the phone. They took a poll about using the phone, and the younger attorney said they hated phone calls and even found them intrusive. The younger staff I spoke with said that they think it's weird to hear their voice on the phone, and they also chose the online chat option for customer support. Never talking on the phone. I do this all the time, by the way. I'm a person that prefers that kind of contact rather than physical phone calls and stuff. It's not bad. I'm not like averse to it, but if I had to choose the two and it's not a big deal, I'll chat with customer service before I call them. As an older person, this seems crazy to me. After going back and forth on email a couple of times, it just seems more efficient to pick up the phone and get it solved. But nope, these youngsters find that aggressive and shrugs and rolls eyes. All this to say, while a computer on the end of a hotline may seem unappealing to those of us that are older, it might not be a big deal to the young folk. Well, go ahead, Karen. You go first.
I'm about to say, I can see that. And I am the type of person, particularly at work, don't call me. And I really hate to be like that because and I understand phone calls. I understand there are some times where you have to talk on the phone. But talking on the phone is not my first option. We should be able to, particularly if you're in the business or doing something where people have multiple locations and multiple time zones and shit like that. I don't have time to talk to you on the phone when I'm actually trying to get other shit accomplished. And when you talk on the phone, Lord have mercy, some people are long-winded. Some people don't know how to get off the phone. You have some people working from home and they want to talk about everything, but what the fuck the conversation is about, like, because you're talking to people. And so it's one of those things where sometimes to keep shit flowing and to get shit done, I will force people to write it in an email, because what I realized about writing, it forces you to get straight to the point. It forces you to get rid of all that bullshit and all the back and forth. And a lot of times you can actually solve a problem, because a lot of times we talk to people on the phone, depending on what you're doing, it can be irritating because sometimes they ask you to do shit and you're actually looking up real time. Versus if I could reach your email, I could actually come to you with an answer, with a solution, versus you're asking me questions. Like, hold on, click, and it also depends on your job. So I do not mind talking on the phone, but it's my last result. I work at a job where a lot of times they're out in the field and they go, well, let's talk on the phone. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want a 30-minute comment. Now you put a 30 minutes, an hour out of my productive day.
Yeah, so I already have the answer to this. The wellness chatbot has been taken off a line already after its harmful focus on weight loss. So we'll read this article in full later. But yeah, the shit didn't work. And because you can't just automate everything. And it just, a human being, especially those who have experienced the trauma that comes from eating disorders and things of that nature, a human fucking being kind of knows the tripwires emotionally for people.
Yes.
That the fucking machine didn't. So it's already, I don't think it was about like youth or people wanting to use online or any. I think it was literally, we have a backlog. The human beings are trying to unionize. The richer owner class was like, absolutely the fuck not. We'll just use a cheap ass robot to replace your human intellectual abilities.
Right.
And then the shit didn't work because a fucking robot's not a person.
Right.
So it just seemed to me just greed run amok, and then that was the end result, a very predictable end result, but the end result no less.
Right, because the program can only do what it's programmed to do, and particularly with something like this, the person actually has experienced it, so y'all can actually relate. That computer knows nothing about you.
Man, you know, I'm looking at our YouTube comments. We got one for this episode, Recreational Crack, but YouTube does something now where they actually can, like, I don't know how accurate it is, but they actually like chop up our video into segments and titles that aren't necessarily what we wrote in the show notes.
Oh,
like you scroll your mouse over it from 1 minute and 41 seconds to 4 minutes and 30 seconds. We talked about Cornel West. Then we talked about Michael Eric Dyson, Republicans, Idris Elba, Trey Songz, Tory Lanez, Tiny's niece, crack, disorder eating, robot. Robot. Black people. Black people. Wait, we only talked about black people for 30 seconds? Oh, now I gotta hear. What the fuck?
That's enough of you Negroes.
What did we say about black people?
30 seconds.
I want to catch up to what was said.
Oh, because as you scroll over, it tells you the topics.
According to this, it's telling me we talked about black people for 30 seconds, like 50 minutes into the fucking show.
Oh, okay. What did
the only time it came up?
Okay.
Fucking with black people music. Fucking with black people, the music.
Ah.
So apparently, fucking with black people, the song is black people.
Oh, because we said black people, and then the music started playing, so it just picked up the first word.
Daniel Penny, Nikki White. Who is Nikki White?
I don't know.
What?
I don't remember shit.
Nikki White. Is that what this? Mike Hill is what that was about. All right. Anyway, sorry guys, I didn't mean to get distracted, but I guess YouTube out here trying to do the thing. We got one comment over here on YouTube. Prepare yourselves. Trigger warning. Probably a racist person wrote this. BY says Jordan Neely, the day before he was restrained on the subway, had attacked an older lady on the subway system. He had an open arrest warrant for pushing another person on the tracks in front of a train. He had been arrested 43 times, including an attempt to kidnap a child on the subway system. Jordan Neely said, "I am ready to die today. I'm ready for life in prison. I'm going to kill all of you." Penny was well within his rights to protect himself and the other passengers. Neely said he was going to kill. You riding a dead horse here. There are racist things, there are evil things, but restraining Neely was neither. You know, I don't have access to this information to even verify if it's even true. Like, who knows what source you got that from? That's number one. You could have included like a link or some shit. But most importantly, even if everything you said was right, Daniel Penny held this man in a chokehold for 15 minutes until he died.
Right.
There are people on the video telling him, this man is dying. You have restrained him. He is unconscious. He is shitted on himself. And this man sat there and held him past the point where he could not even breathe anymore. It wouldn't matter if the day before he had fucking blown up a subway. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if before that he had said anything in the world. You held him for 15 minutes and killed him slowly. This was not he pulled out a gun and he shot him because he was in defense. This is not a stand your ground thing. This is not, I was attacked by this man and I had to defend myself. So, yeah, you know, but you knew that when you wrote in and you needed this attention and you got it. So, congratulations. But I disagree with your assessment. Even if everything you said was true, what he did was beyond the mere, he was just restraining him that you claim it was. We all got eyes. We all seen it. All right, let's go to the next episode. Fire playlist 6 comments on the website. Oh shit, no, we can't do that. We got to go to Spotify and look at recreational crack, and we got to look at the polls. That's on me, everybody. So the poll was, do you smoke crack recreationally? 3% yes, 97% no on our
Mhm.
website. And I'm not gonna lie, it explains that one comment on YouTube. So
That's that 1%.
I believe it. I believe the results. 6% on Spotify, 94% nope.
Yeah, because they got the money for the crack.
I guess so. I mean, if someone can use it recreationally, they better be rich. Ernest says, I'd ride a dragonfly like a... Oh, the Q&A was, what bug would you ride? Ernest says he'd ride a dragonfly, like my man Wild Bill. Yo, Joe. Marvin says a praying mantis. They fly and are scary enough to keep people away, plus mantis food. Nelson says, I would ride a ladybug. They are supposed to be lucky. I chose ladybug too. Nobody agreed with me until you. Adabola says, I hate bees and wasps, but at least I understand what bees contribute to society. Wasps just terrorize and invade personal space. They also survive stinging, unlike bees. Ugh, I hate them. I hate them too. Lee says, I'm with ride a ladybug, but I'm indecisive. So yeah, butterflies are nice. A lightning bug when I want to be flashy, and a granddaddy long leg when I don't want to be bothered. The problem with a granddaddy long leg is that it looks scary, but it don't. It's not. It looks
scary as shit,
but it's harmless. It can't even bite you. Like I need something. If I'm gonna be riding something dangerous, I need it to be dangerous. Like if I wouldn't ride a dangerous bug, that's not my goal with my bug riding. But it's murder hornet all day. If that's what the fuck you about. I mean, a murder hornet is like the fucking like Humvee of the, it's like the fucking it's like Airwolf. You riding that shit, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you.
Nobody.
Dragonfly easy, says Micah. A praying mantis, they don't play, says Aaron. Ladybug all day, says BB87. Probably nobody said praying mantis because they want to go to church. Raphael says, after reading Skyward, I have a bias for a monarch butterfly. Also, that was my kid's answer. It's easier to sell a hustle from the back one. The world will finally give me their wealth, evil laughs. Langston says, have y'all seen bugs up close? They're horrifying. I'm not going anywhere near big bugs. Y'all gonna get ate. Well, I thought the obvious assumption is that these are tame bugs that won't eat you, the owner. But, some people don't have the amount of imagination the rest of us have, and that's okay, Langston, Keisha says a cricket because I'd stay close to the ground. Yeah, except you got to move around by hopping. I feel like it'd break your back. I feel like it'd be bad for your posture and your neck. It's like going over speed bumps every time. All right, episode 27, 21 fire playlist. Now we can do these. Ramsey D. Jenkins says 5 stars. I hope somebody creates a fire playlist on Spotify. Abby says, with the car, I have company car privilege. My job is very stressful, but my car thing is great. I pay $0 for repairs or maintenance, but I pay income taxes on it because I also can fully use it privately. Still great. Ramsey D. Jenkins says, Bad Bath & Beyond plays too much. Please mark everything in the store 75% off, including the shopping carts, light fixtures, shelves, etc.
Stop playing.
Same thing with Tuesday morning. Mark those cooling pillows down to $5. Right. You ain't broke. Evie E said, Bed Bath & Beyond is so unserious about their going out of business sales. I just knew I was going to get some cheap kitchenware, but the BBB down the street from me never went below 40% on selected items. All the good stuff was only 20% off until they closed for good. 20% is the same amount for the coupons they use to send in the mail. Right. That's my point, man. I'm looking in that bitch like, so a candle normally $15. Now it's $13.50. If you really think I'm about to stock up on candles to save whatever percentage that shit amount to, man, suck my dick and stop playing. Take the sale signs off of the goddamn door and just close one day. Just let us walk. Yeah. Just let me ride by on a Tuesday in motherfucking July and be like, oh, I guess that Bed Bath & Beyond closed. Because you're not serious about this sale.
What are you going to do with the shit?
I'm going to buy all these candles when they really are on sale. When I go to Marshall's and they had that loose assorted candle thing that none of the candles match, and some of them going to be from Bed Bath & Beyond. I guarantee you. I'm going to take a picture when I see it too.
Oh, I bet you that's where they're going to send it to. Right.
I'm like, oh, finally.
Outlet store.
$7.99 like it was supposed to be the whole fucking time.
Right.
Wasting my goddamn time. Now I gotta drive to Ross because y'all bullshitting.
Come on through, Ross.
20% is the same. Yeah, fuck them. That's why they filed for bankruptcy in the first place. Overpriced products, stupid ass decisions. I bet they probably sold the good stuff to places like Ross and TJ Maxx. Goddamn, EVE, what is happening?
We're on the same page.
What is happening? Is this gonna finally be the day you stop fucking with Arby's? You are on point right now.
No.
I'll be checking those stores out for some good finds. B Sola says, "Hey, Ryder Karen, I want to chime in on the going out of business sale." Ooh, we woke up the dragon. That's what we got all these comments about.
They was like, them bitches stop by going out of business.
Everybody hot about this shit.
Right.
Nordstrom is going out of business here in Canada at the opening in 2014. Their initial liquidation sale was very disappointing. They were offering between 5 and 10% off. Then after 2 months, they started offering 30% and above. On the Taylor Swift issue, I was thinking as I saw the initial reports of her and this dude, do her fans really think they can bully her into ditching this guy? But I guess someone in Taylor's team must have told her he was not good for her image. But I'm sure her fans will think that they held her accountable, and that's why she ditched them. Perhaps the fan backlash words some people on her team. I'm going to tell you right this, dog. I'm going to tell you like this, B Solo. That ain't what happened. That ain't what happened. This woman runs through men, okay? It is what it is. If anything, the outlier was her last boyfriend lasted so long.
Yeah, that lasted a while, didn't he?
Yeah, I was never concerned about this rebound ass nigga. It just like everything about him sound like, oh, he must be a fun time, maybe some good dick, a little bit of a bad boy, but he ain't gonna stick around with Taylor. He can't deal with. He the one that cracked, by the way. He can't deal with the fucking pressure of her fans and the people now holding him to a higher standard. He was just used to being a bad boy, white boy. Just, hey, I'm out here doing my podcast, saying all kinds of stuff.
Nobody paying him no attention.
Nobody gave a fuck about him. It should tell you that nobody gave a fuck about him by the fact that nobody knew about that podcast. Nobody knew about his comments until he started dating Taylor Swift. Just, it's like so many things these days. It's the Katamari Damacy outrage shit where motherfuckers was like, wait, did you know he said such and such on a podcast 7 years ago? How three minutes ago? I don't give a fuck with it. But you know what I'm saying? He said that, and then it was like, I gotta go get some people, and we're gonna roll this big old ball of outrage. All fake, all bullshit. I don't care. I never care about this man. Yeah, I don't think Taylor Swift was like, oh my God, the social media. I think she just did her Taylor Swift shit. It was like, I've dated Hemsworths. I don't. This ain't nothing to me. Right. Thanks for another great show. Sorry about the poor air quality lately, but then again, we're the ones whose country is on fire. So suck it up, America. Cheers, Busola. Thank you. And it wasn't that bad here, but I heard it was bad in New York. Miss 1KO says, it was so funny to hear the commentary about Tay-Tay and her racist ex-boo. As if there aren't many black women who have dated a hotep that they disagree with on how women are, and some of us have even dated coons. Hell, I know a few black women married to a black man who's so staunchly Republican they can't even discuss politics at home. Anyways, love your fresh perspective as always. Thank you, Miss 1KO, and that's my motherfucking point. Like, we do not, and this is definitely a misogynistic thing that even women participate in. This thing of connecting women to their spouses or boyfriends or romantic connections, mistakes and worst moments, as if A, they're responsible for them, or B, they can't possibly know more about the person than we do as strangers, you know? And then lastly, blame them, right? So it's like, it's like
easier to blame a woman than to hold him accountable.
Right. Like, I don't expect Chris Brown to go the rest of his life and never date a woman again.
Right.
He gonna date somebody. But if he dates a famous woman, we're gonna be back like she beat Rihanna. That's how we relate, and it's ridiculous. And it just does not happen for men in that way, period. Like, a man can date somebody that has done some shady shit, and I'll put it this way. I've never heard the sentence once. Offset, how can you date Cardi B? She drugged and robbed men. I'm like, what? What he got to do with that, right? We all, if you said that to a group of people, they'd be like, what the fuck Offset got to do with that? But if we can be like, Taylor Swift, your boyfriend on the podcast once said that he watched Ghetto Gaggers. So I think we know what that means. You have to break up, or that means you support Ghetto Gaggers and everything that happens there. It's like, okay, we're the ones being weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to go through all y'all boyfriends' porn collections and be like, now let's explain this one. Now, this is stepfamily.com. He jacked off to this. It says 6 days ago, I noticed you haven't broken up with him. What's going on? Do you support incest? No. Get the fuck out of here. That's all stupid. Y'all just don't like Taylor Swift, and y'all trying to trick us into thinking it's a cause.
All right.
Anyway, let's check the comments on Fire Playlist on Spotify. On YouTube. Juanita says car prices are crazy right now. I love that. That's the only comment. I agree. It just needed to be said, and you said that. Matter of fact, that's the show title. Car prices are crazy. No, I'm just kidding. AJ says if TGIF Walking Dead is the last ep, if so, it's been 466 days. Free the Walking Dead recaps and Rod's Bobby's murder voice. Man, I'm. This is gonna be the poll for the show. How many of y'all need our Walking Dead recaps to return? Cause like I have them saved on my DVR. I haven't been spoiled. I haven't watched anything. I see new shit popping on DVR now. It's like new Walking Dead, Dead City. I'm like, I don't even. Who was the me that was up on that a year ago? You know,
you had the time.
Like, who was the me that was able to do that? You know. Also, it can't have been 466 days, right? That doesn't make sense, right? That would be over a year. Like a year is 365 days. We definitely did Walking Dead recaps last year at the end of that season, right? Okay, maybe we didn't. I don't know.
I think we did.
Feels like maybe that's part of the joke. Anyway,
that's part of the joke. I think we did. We just ain't covered the last season. And
the last 8 episodes. Yeah. But yeah, I have them. I just honestly, man, I just haven't been pressed to watch it or recap it. Mostly because it's work. And I'm working. Like mostly because it's work, and I'm still fucking working, man. I don't know what to tell you.
We haven't forgot. Yeah, everybody just been busy.
But anyway, we'll see. I'm not gonna stress it. And I'll make it the poll. Maybe enough of y'all care that we really will be like, all right, let's buckle down and do this work for these people. I haven't even watched the other Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead.
I think this is last season too, ain't it?
I think so, yeah. But I haven't even. I'm so behind on this stuff. You know, I've been watching Justified. The murder rate of this county is ridiculous. All right, let's see what we got for Fire Playlist for the poll. How much do you pay for your car bill? I don't have a car. I already own it. Less than $1,000 a month. More than $1,000 a month. Okay. Don't have a car, 21%. Already own that car, 40%. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's high, and I feel like the reason that's high is because goddamn cars cost so much.
Right. So people are like, hey, we're going to keep this.
Yeah.
They're like, all I got to do is change the tires. And on top of that, for most cars, if you do like your basic maintenance on them, most cars nowadays are kind of built to, unless this is a limit or something like that, are kind of built to last. And if you have to cough up any amount of money, that $1,000, $2,000 that you have to cough up within the course of 365 days is a drop in the bucket. A lot of times it's maintenance that has to be done. Like, okay, it's time for a timing belt. Okay, it's time for, brakes, like shit that actually I drove this car enough to validate this cost.
I feel like for a lot of people, if it wasn't so cost reprehensive, they would have bought a new car by now, though.
Okay.
Because I in my car the other day, I noticed like something was going on with the seat. I was like, fuck, not my seat. And honest to God, my thought was, how much do it cost to replace a seat? Not, should I get a new car? I was like, that wasn't even on the table. I was seeing these prices. And they be sending me shit, letters in the mail. Mm-hmm. Come sell us your old car. It's paying more money than it's ever paid in the past. I'm like, right. And then I got to pay more for a car than anyone's ever paid in the past, which kind of offsets the whole fucking thing. And I don't want to do that. Mm-mm. Anyway, less than 1,000, 35% are paying less than 1,000 a month. And there's 4% that are paying more than 1,000 a month for their car.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see, for some people, there's certain cars that are quote unquote luxury vehicles that, you go, okay, yeah, it's going to be more. I go in knowing that I'm going to pay above average.
Yeah. And it's almost identical on the website as far as compared to the Spotify thing. So close. Honestly, it's not even worth telling y'all what the difference is. It's that fucking close. Let's see. Yesterday's onion price is not today's onion price. Was the Q&A. Raphael says, time to use my military discount. Buy me a few bags of assorted onions and hit up my Filipino Connect. Catch a flight to Manila. I'm going to be rich. Thanks for the news, player. Player a $ song, Black Cowboys. Oh, play the song. Yeah. Good man. Raphael stays on task. Okay,
Right?
He care about one
He
thing,
understands the assignment.
and every time, I'm not even sure this is the assignment. He just gonna stay on his. He stays on the same thing.
Oh, that's his assignment. The state that
Did you assign it to him?
No.
Right. That's what
he
I'm
assigned
saying.
it to himself.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's totally off the page. James says these onion prices will certainly make you cry. Hashtag Queen Karen's puns. And Gaster from the War Report was so happy about Bed Bath & Beyond's downfall.
He was. That was fucking hilarious. Him and Shalada loves that place. He was like, fuck that store.
And it's Shalay what? Everybody says Shalala Sharp. I wonder, is it because of the instrument or something?
It might be.
Anyway, Thaddeus says, if you want a funny story, look up why onion futures are banned in the US. You know what? Got enough funny stories in my life. Keisha says, that's true, but what about the layers of racism Prince Harry discovered? LOL. Oh, you had a lot of layers peeling that onion. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the Taylor Swift thing compared to the Prince Harry thing is like, that gives me like a hypocrisy boner. That is just like my, oh God. I love when human beings have complexities and it doesn't quite square. I love it. And that's my favorite comparison that I've come up with recently is the, funny how we got over Prince Harry and Meghan Markle pretty fast. Didn't have a problem with this nigga wearing Nazi uniforms, but Taylor Swift got to go. All right. And I know he apologized, but when's the last time y'all accepted an apology? That's all I gotta ask.
Right?
He the first and onlyest one? A white man? I don't think so. Chris Elman said somewhere like, God damn, bitch, I was apologizing too. She can't never go back.
Go on back in the corner.
Episode 2772, Novak Swing. Last episode of the week. Brandon Collins is our guest. Drunk Black History. We only got one comment. I feel like every time we have a guest, we have less comments. And I think it's maybe because the guest fills in the comments for the audience. I don't know.
Yes.
But for some reason, it's not as many, comments when we have a guest. So we got one comment. Also, this is the most recent episode. EVE says, I always enjoy when you have Brandon on the show. Pat Robertson is such a gross human being. I hope his death was painful. The Anita Baker babyface beef seems kind of one-sided. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but social media fighting at any age is not a good look.
Right.
Yeah. And then let's check the comments if there's any on YouTube. None yet. And then the poll results. Who you got? Anita Baker, babyface. Karen?
Going babyface.
Well, you're in the minority on our website. 63% say Anita Baker, 37% say babyface. But you're in the majority on Spotify. People that have money and understand how conflict works when you're dealing with big banks. Babyface, 53%. Anita Baker, 47%.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm on babyface side.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's not funny. Anita Baker literally hasn't performed in decades. She came back. And so you have a whole ass generation of people who don't know who the fuck Anita Baker is. Unless you of my generation and you play that shit for your kids don't. What 21-year-old knows a fucking Anita Baker song? No, zero.
Right. So wait, where are you going with this?
That's why I'm going babyface.
Oh, but
babyface older too.
Yeah, I think the people that listen to our show are of the age. I just think within this argument, I don't see the thing that babyface did wrong.
No,
it just seemed like Anita's kind of prickly, and especially the fact that she took tweets to kick him off of her tour because people were tweeting at her just seems like a irrational thing to do to me, unless she knows some behind the scenes shit that she ain't sharing, which it don't seem like the type that wouldn't share whatever the incriminating thing is. It just seems like she got fed up, blamed him for people tweeting at her that they think she fucked up, and then now boom, here we go. So all right, let's get into the Q&A. Don't accept the airdrop. Raphael says, don't be a hoe say no to anonymous airdrops. However, in honor of Juneteenth, I got tickets to the motherland, so hurry, come get high on natural berries and juices with music by Anita and Babyface. We family. I got a feeling that concert is not gonna happen, y'all. Don't buy those tickets.
Don't y'all buy them tickets.
Don't cash app them. Keenan says, hey, Hootie is black music. The nigga name is Darius. I didn't say he wasn't black music. I said, you know, they just probably wouldn't be playing that in Black Hell.
That's their jam.
Roger PJ Williams says, I voted Anita for her and you're her rules, but I do think it's sad to see our legends arguing over social media. Is Babyface arguing?
He's not arguing.
I mean, listen, Babyface is to me the definition of class for the way he handled it.
He about that money.
Cause not even about that money. He just handled it in a way, because if he was about that money, he's like, I'm suing her. I didn't do anything wrong. Fuck y'all. He was even on some like, I understand it's for her. If she decides to have me off, I respect that. Right. I'll always be respectful of her legend. I'm like, damn, man. I don't know what he was supposed to say that made what Anita did seem justified, but it clearly wasn't nothing he said on social media. Mm-hmm. Keith says it's definitely not safe for work, that airdrop. All right. I don't think we have voicemails. I'll check real quick, but I don't think we got any voicemails over the last couple of weeks, which means we can go straight into the like emails. So let me play that music. That is a magnetic groove. Fire playlist. Miss Stacy says, hi, Rod and Karen. When you were talking about used cars, I felt you all too. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Miss Stacy.
That's somebody can relate.
John writes in, indictments, hate, etc. Good morning, Rod and Karen. Well, the DOJ indicted Trump after all. At the risk of being canceled for cultural appropriation, I must confess that I've been dancing in my kitchen singing, John was right. John was right. Please don't sue me. Well, that's probably Mike Kaplan's, he's the one that can sue you. I came to a realization last night thinking about the sad fucks who will no doubt continue to claim Garland somehow failed us, and here it is. Garland told us exactly who he is and how he will operate from the jump, and nobody we have seen has ever contradicted that. Nothing. He's a straight shooter. We all had two options. One, take him at his word, at least till proven otherwise. Two, assume he was lying, corrupt, etc. It's why how many people just reflexively chose the latter out of cynicism and fear of disappointment. It's kind of sad, but a whole lot of people, at least the loudest and obnoxious ones, really can't handle that. Yes, some people are honest and really doing the best they can. People like Obama, Biden, Hillary, Fauci, Garland, all more or less straight shooters who are willing to be honest with the public rather than shining sunshine up our asses and telling us ridiculous lies to make us feel good. That's why I'm a fan of all of them. And that's what I want in my leaders. But so many people flat out rejected them while ironically believing clowns like Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, etc. It's so weird. I mean, I get it. We all been hurt by Trump's election, the Mueller report. But I still much prefer the people who will be straight with the public rather than sugarcoating everything.
Me too. But a lot of people, I agree with you. A lot of people are like, no, make me feel good. Bitch, that's not the truth.
Well, the thing is,
temporary.
Some of the stuff they do is about making people feel good. That's how you get the votes. But it doesn't have to necessarily be about lying. When you see people that somehow feel disappointed and let down by Obama, it's almost never some shit he said. It's about a feeling he gave them. Even the most intelligent people, when they talk about being let down, it's always like, I felt he would be such and such. I believed in hope and change. What the fuck is hope and change, though? What policy did he violate that was against hope and change?
Right.
And like, I understand that's what campaigns do, but I guess that's where my cynicism is. Isn't that there's never been a campaign slogan that made me go, yeah. Like, that's not what I'm about. I'm much more like, I think this person would be making the best decisions compared to the other people when it comes to governing the country. That's it. And Merrick Garland, I was definitely right. I had no reason to really doubt him. I was hyping it from the jump because I said they should have let that man be a Supreme Court justice. they didn't, they fucked up. And also because at the time I went back and listened to like some podcasts he was on and stuff from back in the day, and he's anti-white supremacy, like, you know, anti-Timothy McVeigh type shit. Yeah, man, that's the guy I want prosecuting this shit. So I knew it would take time, but I never thought he was going to do the Mueller report thing. I always thought it was very foolish. I still think it's very foolish. How many people want to see him publicly make statements and tip his hat of which direction he's going to go with prosecutions, explain everything to everybody? That's not really his job, and I don't want his job to turn into a PR job.
Right.
I think that was the problem with Mueller. Mueller was constantly standing before Congress, doing fucking interviews, and guess what he did? Nothing.
Right. That's how you knew nothing was going to happen, because he was open with it.
I didn't know nothing was going to happen at that time. I said, well, maybe he about it. He keep doing these fucking press conferences. I guess he really is about that life. And then when he put that milquetoast ass response out, I said, man, fuck you. Take all them press conferences back. Because you know what the press conference is about? Is really just keeping us liking him.
Yeah.
Keeping us, like, I don't need him explaining every step if he ain't gonna do shit. So anyway, I never felt this. I like that Merrick Garland is walk softly, carry a big stick. We are all Charlie Brown with the football, but I just don't think the outright assumption that every decent person trying to make things better is just hiding their evil ways is a healthy one. Speaking of, yeah, you know what the goalpost movement for this thing has been? Merrick Garland didn't do it. The dude that he appointed, Jack Smith, he's the one who did it. Merrick Garland doesn't deserve credit for this. Merrick Garland appointed him. So,
and a lot of the work Merrick Garland had already done.
Just like saying the coach don't deserve any credit for winning the Super Bowl. I put the motherfuckers in the game. I came up with the strategy, the game plan. Now, am I saying I'm Tom Brady? No, that would be stupid. But am I saying I'm the nigga that figured out a way to make sure that Tom Brady got 6 Super Bowl rings or whatever the fuck it was in New England? I am that guy. I do deserve something. Dummies. And keep in mind, y'all said it was bad when he appointed Jack Smith. That was the wrong move.
I was upset.
Fuck out of here. Speaking of weird, man, what is up with the hate for Tay-Tay? I just don't get it. I have a couple of them in my friend circle. I can't for the life of me figure out why they are so obsessed with constantly searching an angle to criticize her. It's so bizarre. Yeah, I would understand the Taylor Swift hate if she hadn't been a child star that we watched grow into a woman who became a pretty outspoken liberal woman in a very conservative country music world. I would understand it because at some points I got like, it's like she seems like the height of white privilege. She seems, you know, it seems like her life must be so easy because the default setting for whiteness is things privileges she's had access to a lot, you know, rich, tall, skinny, conventionally attractive, blonde white woman, talented, but for a lot of people, if that's not the kind of music you like, then you can like knock her talent and like she can't even sing, you know, and I get it, but you know, there's motherfuckers that can sing, but that ain't exactly what everybody comes for. You never hear nobody say that shit when it comes to Rihanna. Same people shitting on Taylor Swift would never, very few of them will come out and shit on Rihanna in that way. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's a package that's not designed to appeal to you. She makes a package that appeals to a lot of the mainstream conservative white sensibilities if you don't pay attention.
Right.
Like if you're just not paying any fucking attention. And the thing I liked about her is the same thing I like about Beyonce. I watched her emancipate herself from her father who was controlling her career and become so unafraid. Like, because you got to consider, if you got a man that is controlling your career, telling you what's best for you and winning, right? These aren't Matthew Knowles isn't unsuccessful. Taylor Swift's daddy weren't unsuccessful. They got their daughters to be powerhouses at very young ages in their industry. But at some point, they had to look at their parents and go, I know you think you're protecting me. I know you think this is the best for me, but I'm not your little girl anymore. And I want to talk about things that might not appeal to everybody. You're making the safe choice. You want everyone to like my music. And I don't feel like I get to be me. I'm gonna be okay with letting some people be mad that I put up the Black Power fist at the Super Bowl. The world just gonna have to live with that. And the same thing with Taylor Swift. Like, there's a documentary that she did where there's a clip that went viral a while ago, but it was her telling her dad, like, I'm picking a side. I'm for democratic things. I'm against restricting the right to abortion and stuff like that. And her dad being like, man, but people gonna come at you. And she's like, yeah, that's just what's gonna have to happen.
Right.
And so I respect that shit. And it's just weird because it's the Katamari Damacy shit where people are just rolling that ball of anger and hate, and she just happened to be at the center of it. And people will shit on her for stuff that they assume she wouldn't do or won't do, rather than give her some benefit of the doubt of either she hasn't really fully stepped into that yet, or she's gonna get there. That's something that you don't really see. I remember listening to a very popular podcast at the time, and it was clear that these people, the main host was clearly a Taylor Swift fan, but he was peer pressured by his co-host into shitting on her and being like, yeah, she's not doing enough. She probably hates gay people and shit. And it's like, that's not true. It's her fans that are the real problem. That's not true either. And they were mad at her because the what do you call it? The Gamergate type white dude was upholding her as like the perfect example of white women and white femininity.
She didn't ask for that.
She didn't ask for none of that shit, and nothing she ever said or did told them that was okay.
Right.
She wasn't making even that kind of music. She wasn't saying those kind of things in interviews. They just decided, the same way you decided to hate her on a surface level, they decided to promote her on a surface level. And at the end of the fucking day, it really became about symbolism and how divided we are in our own silos, because no one gave a fuck to think, what does she think? And when she's asked about it, she get a right fucking answer, and we still be like, yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna stick with the surface level. So I think people got stuck there. They're never gonna get out of there. And honestly, fuck them. I don't need you to like me or be my friend or whatever. I think it's stupid. I'm allowed to have that opinion, and you don't have to like that I have that opinion, but seem like a good egg to me. And that's it. And the same slack I would give fucking I don't know who the fuck Karuchi Tran for dating some nigga that was homophobic for a second and then breaking up with him 3 months later. It's the same slack I can give her. It's just, it ain't really that big a deal to me. The only people who will vote for Cornel West are the ones who thought it was funny to call him Obama the epithet in chief. Oh, the nigger in chief or whatever. I don't remember what it was. Mostly white progressives are secretly wanted to say it themselves, like Bill Maher. Oh, okay, yeah. Also, it's hilarious that West is running for a party that lists ending support for Ukraine as part of their platform. What's also interesting too is he switched parties since you sent this email. This email is only 8 days old. He's already switched to the Green Party. This is a very unserious man. Good luck with that. I'm just surprised.
Over there with another grift that we haven't heard from my fucking ass in 10 years.
Jill Stein. Yeah, I don't know where she's at. Good luck with that. I'm just surprised Cornel didn't enlist Kanye to be his VP or create a West 24 ticket. Fuck Pat
hilarious.
Robertson and wish hell existed so he could ride in it. Finally, I think that black payback porn site would make a great Black Lady sketch or Atlanta episode. Cheers and stay safe, John. I don't think Black Lady sketch show is gonna ever do something about that, but it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It'd make a funny sketch for sure, but it's I guess that's what's so funny about porn. It's like it exists. To me, that's like a sketch idea. You go, yeah, that would be funny if some Hotep niggas was like that. Then it's like that exists and people need that to come. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. But I take it. It's not for me, is what I mean to say.
No, it's not.
I'll try not to judge because
it's
just not for me. I don't know what it is that would make people need it, but I know people are often attracted to the things that a lot of times people's psychology, some people are attracted to things that they're not supposed to be, and that's the taboo of it. So
agreed.
I don't assume everybody watching the fucking stepsister porn is fucking like because they really into incest. I just assume I assume people aren't, and they're just that's the wild wild west out there. Let's all stay out of each other's business. I don't know. As long as it's consenting adults and not illegal, I don't care.
That's at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Episode 2721 Fire Playlist. Tanisha writes in, I love this episode. I apologize in advance for the exceptionally long email I'm sending. Can y'all increase the voicemail length or no? Anyway, here are a few comments. We can increase the voicemail list. And honestly, the only thing worse than reading a long comment would be playing a long ass voicemail.
Y'all don't want that. Y'all think y'all do? Y'all
most people think they're interesting beyond, a couple minutes. No one is. And that I include myself in that. Like,
me too.
There's times when we start talking and going on a long jag, and I'm like, people probably stop listening to this 2 seconds in, but whatever.
Oh, sometimes, a lot of times you're in your own head too, but yes.
The story about the scammers who were squatting in the deceit, but also we have thousands of episodes of hours of doing this, and y'all don't most of the time. And maybe you would be good at it, but it'd be some other nigga living a 6-minute voicemail. You'd be like, why don't Rod and Karen hang up on this man?
Right, that's what I said, y'all. Y'all think y'all want that. Y'all don't want that.
But honestly, most of y'all, as a writer, most people just need an editor. Cut down on the shit. Most things will not even need to be that long. You're gonna repeat yourself. You're gonna be all over the place. You're gonna
write notes.
Yeah. So we'll get through it together though. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
The story about the scammers who were squatting in a deceased woman's home and had the gall to claim succession rights really bothered me. NYC is a scammer's paradise. I'm not surprised these scammers found an attorney, despite the fact that I don't think they have a case under succession, though I think they have a case under squatters' rights. The difference being, when you are a rent stabilized or rent controlled tenant, upon your death or vacancy, you can leave the apartment to a family member, which is how many families have been able to live here for generations. Some people live here for as low as a few $100s a month because they are in rent controlled, rent stabilized units. People who get them usually die in them because you'll never get cheaper rent in the city. These scammers aren't family unless they've convinced this woman to say adopt them. In NYC, squatters can claim rights to a property 30 days after living there, and they are protected from eviction unless by court order. These kinds of conflicts can be scary. I have a friend whose cousin dated a guy for a couple months. The guy refused to move out, and then the ex filed for squatters' rights. They were in the housing court for almost a year, still forced to live together before the squatters stabbed him to death. I won't even let a person lay up for a night in my home. Can't squat if they can't get in.
Ain't that the truth?
As someone who went through housing court in NYC, it's an absolute nightmare and will ruin everyone except the landlords. I hope the daughter has a permanent home or is able to move in after this because her rental chances are fucked because of what's gone down. 90% of rental housing in NYC is controlled by corporate landlords. They use an illegal system that records all the names of the tenants who go through housing court, regardless of who sued who and the outcome of their cases. The system is called the tenant blacklist. The system generates a report that looks a lot like a credit report. Tenants don't know it exists, and the landlord will never tell you they looked at it or denied you because of it. I know it exists because I have a copy, and I had an attorney for my housing case who has fought against it. Landlords in this city have a lot of power, and it's impossible to get out of this list or shut it down. I was able to obtain a copy because of, see what I'm saying? We don't need this in 6 minutes of voicemail. This is already a lot of text and backstory about a very specific case that happened to you. You see what I'm saying? We'd be like 3 minutes in this voicemail and everybody in the chat would be like, for real? They probably saying that now. I can't see the chat and read this at the same time, but
so I'd rather have it in words. Yes.
Yeah. Our commentary spruce throughout it is what's going to get us through this. I was able to obtain a copy because a broker who is a friend of a friend told me it exists and is designed to keep potentially problematic tenants out of the market. Because housing court is long and hard process that can take years, corporate landlords don't want to rent to someone who will screw them over or will take legal action against the landlord for being a slumlord. I was the latter. I had a slumlord who did an illegal abatement of my unit, exposing my family to lead dust, then said he wouldn't pay $50K to do it properly, altered my lease, and refused repairs. I sued him and 22 months later, I won. I feel like I'm in court. I feel like I'm the judge right now. The way I'm going through your whole case, I feel like this is like our third hearing, okay? I stayed in the unit at a significant lower price, got a legal abatement and repairs done. Years later, I moved because I needed a bigger spot and suddenly no one wanted to rent to me. Despite me meeting all the requirements listed in the rentals, the broker flat out told me he showed me that my name was on the list and he wouldn't be able to get me an apartment and that I'd have to find private landlords as my only option. Ultimately, I was able to find an apartment with a private landlord, but I moved again. My options will be limited. If I move again, my options will be limited because this blacklist exists and it's used against undesirables. Private landlords aren't in the club, so they don't have access to the tenant blacklist. Landlords don't want long-term tenants, and the landlord in this case you're reporting probably doesn't want the daughter to get succession rights or the scammers to get squatters right, because many landlords are opting to leave rent stabilized, rent control units empty rather than rent them, because tenants never want to leave and the rent is so low they lose money on the rentals over time. It's ridiculous, but this is a scammer's paradise. Currently, nearly 400,000 rent stabilized units are empty on purpose in this city because landlords claim they can't make enough money off the lower rents to update the units for new rentals. But really, if they keep overall rental inventory low, it drives up the cost of the market rate rentals, which primarily partially where you get the crazy high rents always associated with New York City. I feel like I'm reading the rental agreement right now.
All that fine print is at the bottom of it.
I feel like it's about to be like no pets, no smoking.
It's a fee. We charge you when you leave.
I say all this to say that those scammers have caused themselves and this deceased woman's daughter to end up in housing court. Regardless of the outcome, they'll all be named on the tenant blacklist, which is unfortunate for this poor woman who literally did nothing wrong. Well, thank God she's old, right? Like hopefully whatever she ends up be the last part. I'm also pointing out this issue about the blacklist as we're seeing a trend of more and more rental units and single family homes being controlled by corporate landlords. Fuck you, Jeff Bezos. This problem could easily spread to other cities if it's not already there already. I'm sure it is. Also, of course, Prince Harry was racist until Meghan. I dated a British guy who took me home to meet his family. His father asked me if I wanted to lick the sauce off his fingers as we dined on ribs, and his brother said, "Don't be nervous. Interracial dating is fine here. Just enough color to titillate, but too much color will irritate." Still, I think it takes more than some cafe au lait, Kegel clamp sessions to get past a lifetime of indoctrination. But I guess he's got to start somewhere, and Meghan is a lovely place to start. Yeah. And I don't like, that's the thing. I don't dislike Harry any more than these other motherfuckers. Like, if you're dating a white person, there's a chance that you're dating somebody that may have some racial hangups and shit that they got from the start. We are as black people have racial hangups that we get from the start. So
yeah,
it's no one's an exception to this shit. And any relationship got something that you got to overcome or work through or compromise or whatever. And I don't know. I can't begin to define or know exactly how people do that for their issues, but everyone has them, you know? So good luck to everybody. Also, the wig incident. It's interesting that there were 3 white men and 1 lone black girl after midnight when nothing good happens when this wig got snatched. If she had a man with her, maybe even another person, this wouldn't have gone down. That slack-jawed urchin did what he did because he's a coward, powered by circumstance and liquid courage. He probably been waiting his whole life to violate a black woman. And if he is waiting his whole life, he was on that hairy shit. No, and if he
now is the time.
Right. If she had snapped and jumped him, we know the cops would have shown up ready to send her to Rikers, and his friends likely wouldn't have said what really happened, take his ass to jail. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to assume too much from. I'm just making an assumption from the looks. Yeah, I thought they were like 3 gay dudes coming from the club. Like when I saw the video, I was like, oh, it's just like 3 gay dudes coming from the club, and he thought, ha ha ha, it's funny, I'm snatching her wig. I don't think he did it in the he thinks in his mind that it's some sort of fucking joke that she should laugh at, and that his friends will laugh at it and be okay. One, he did it to the wrong black woman because I don't know who the right black woman is, but she definitely wasn't her. But 2, his friends didn't like it.
Right.
Like his friends were like, "Are you fucking like you're out of control?"
Apologize to her. Right.
Yeah, it was just stupid. I don't even know that it was about it being a black woman or not. I don't know if he would have done it to anybody. I just know that it was so fucking dumb and no one was there for it, even at the time. I'm glad she didn't go to jail or something, because you're right. Police show up. Who knows how that goes. But I'm glad he got fired. Lastly, Gavin Newsom knows what's up. While I agree reparations isn't all about money, Cash App a meal after tax while you figure out what else it's about. Reparations ain't coming because it would acknowledge our humanity and history and has to continue to show us the depths white folks will go to keep black folks under the foot of white supremacy. Hell, reparation checks would probably be the thing to set off the second Civil War. Thanks for reading my long ass email and what that wasn't going to fit on voicemail. One last thing. Can you explain how one is able to watch your show live, participate in the chat? I've been trying to figure it out. I'm a bit confused. Tanisha G from Brooklyn. Enjoy your weekend. It's easy. You go to crowdcast.io and search the Black Guy Who Tips. Follow our channel. But you have made me aware of something I didn't even think about. I just need to add a link to the show notes so you can watch the live shows. What are we, 2,700 episodes in, and now you got me thinking, oh yeah, this is how we'll do that. So
yeah, that way people can see it.
Yeah. So
and it's also on the website too.
Right. And Mimi says she don't think they were three gay guys. I agree to disagree. I mean, I guess we'll never know for sure, but I agree to disagree. That's just how it looked to me. It was the way he snatched the wig and his mannerisms and how funny he thought it was. It was, you know what? And you know what it is? Now you make me think a little deeper. The reason why, because the way he did it was that kind of thing that you hear people talk about in queer spaces where a gay dude will act like, because I'm gay, I'm not a threat to you. So I can grab your titties and it's different because I'm gay. So your titties is on limits for me. It's off limits to just straight men. It was that mannerism and like body language that felt like, what? Oh, why you acting like that? Where it's like, it doesn't matter. You're not her. You don't have the freedom to touch a person. So it gave me that. Now I could be wrong. I don't know this man. I haven't done any research or whatever. But when I see men do shit like that, there's normally a vibe that's a little more threatening to it. Like it's a little more like, I have the right to do this and you ain't gonna do shit about it. This felt more like what's the big deal? But who knows? I'm making an assumption. It's clearly just neither one of us knows the real answer. We both could be wrong. So but that was the vibe he gave me, was this very like, this is funny and it's part of like some game we're both in. It's like, you don't fucking know this person. And that really is the crux of the whole thing. The rest is just me making assumptions. Scott Wright saying killer whales versus great white sharks. Scientists have seen orcas hunt and kill great white sharks. That's how you get to the top of the food chain. First of all, and then he sent like killer whale, like a 2-minute video with graphic images not suitable for all viewers. So, okay, Scott, first of all, let's just break. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, Scott is a white man. So obviously he identifies with the great white sharks. Secondly, he says they have killed great white sharks, hunt and killed them. And that sounds like reparations to me. You talking about freedom fighting? Is that what we talking about? Great white sharks is killing shit. These people hunted the great white sharks down that are a plague to the community, and they killed them for the good of it, not to eat them. They killed them to say, hey, this is a dangerous predator that is running around just chewing on the whole community. We, the black dolphins, will take it upon us to not do like the white dolphins, hunting down and trying to sexually assault shit. We're going to just fucking kill the great white. So you have done nothing but prove me right, and I don't know why you spent time sending that in. Oh, Tanisha wrote in again. Recreational crack. Hey, Rod and Karen. Nobody picked riding a fly because flies love shit, which means they're gonna constantly try to park you on some. No, thank you. In this messy climate, I'm riding a praying mantis and wishing a nigga would. It's funny too because I assumed if you can control your bug, then you control where it lands. So if you want to pick a fly, you just be like, my fly don't land on shit. My fly lands on sugar or whatever. Like you could have once again, it's your imagination.
you only limited
you are showing the limits of your own imagination here. This is a world where you can ride bugs, you choosing that your fly has to land in shit sometimes. That's interesting. And white people news, Bam Margera's situation is sad, and his body he could choose how to live and die. And as someone who has an active addict in my family and former friends who are active addicts, I had to learn to set boundaries. You can't shame an addict sober, and you can't make an addict get sober. When you're spending all your time trying to get them help and sending out search parties and losing sleep and begging and pleading and wishing it would be different, your own life is being hijacked. I set boundaries with the addicts in my life, 0 communication until you are sober, and a recovery program with at least 90 days in. My peace is too important in this one life, I have to live. Well, see, that's the thing. If you're talking about a super famous addict like Bam is, Bam put out a video on his like IG Live, and he does this more all the time. And I think it's harder to do the like no communication, no that, because they're amplifying everything to where like you may feel compelled if this motherfucker's on IG Live basically saying I'm gonna smoke crack till I'll kill myself tonight because you won't let me see my son. It's a little harder to ignore because it becomes public, because the public is now seeking your conversation on it in a way that they wouldn't if it was a private family matter that the only person that knew were the people that saw the text or whatever.
Directly involved, yes.
Do you still miss and care about the person? Absolutely, but you just stop playing savior in the life of an adult. He needs to chase that sobriety daily like he's chasing that rock before he can have contact with his children. Addicts are highly manipulative. Blaming everyone around him for why he's drinking and acting out makes everyone else responsible for his sobriety, not him. I agree. Lastly, that Chica person is a whole weed, and weeds will grow and spread wherever they're given room. She deserves none. Love y'all, Tanisha G.
Thank you.
Damn, a weed. That's cold. Monique says, hey, Rod and Karen, our nigga conspiracies persist. I told my homegirl about the theory you both have about Arby's. She sent me the following TikTok, which accompanied text. For me, this is more evidence that Arby's is a front for a criminal organization. How do they afford this? All right, let me pull up this TikTok real quick and share it on my screen. All right. Boom. Y'all should be able to see this. So turn the volume up. Here we go.
What creative decisions are you most proud
Says Stephen Victor explains why Pusha T gets royalties from the Arby's theme song.
of having had a hand in?
I think convincing Pusha to rap on Yogi's beat that ended up being the theme song for Arby's.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
If you watch an Arby's commercial, at the end of it, it goes, Arby's, we are the meats.
Arby's, we have the meat.
That's the song.
Hold up, this the game that shows us. Pioneers started on.
That's the song. And they don't even use Push's part.
They don't even use Pusha's part, but they have to pay him because he owns 50% of the song. So every time they want to sync the song, they have to come to us for approval.
Well, there you go.
That's actually smart.
Yeah, but I mean, we all knew that. I mean, when Pusha T rapped in the commercial, I already knew what it was. So I too would like to know where the money's coming from. Right. Where they have the money to pay Pusha T royalties.
50%.
We know it's not from lines at the actual restaurant because we never seen it. Very confused, very suspicious. I just drove by one, not a car in the parking lot, no niggas in the drive-thru. Happens all the time. Drove by one the other day, asked Karen, hey, do you want to go in there? Karen doesn't want it. Remember, this all started because Karen lied to y'all and told you she loves Arby's. That was years ago. We have yet to have gone to an Arby's ever since she said that. Not once. So it should tell you a lot about the kind of people that write in about loving Arby's. They don't eat Arby's. Okay, they're not sending me pictures from the Arby's with long lines and full rooms in the dining room. They're not doing that because it don't exist. They're plants. They're industry plants. They're ops. Don't trust them. Anyway, have a great day protecting that. Peace and blessings, Monique, aka Kim Doc. Thanks, Kim Doc.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, KJ writes in, yo, what up, Karen? What's good, Rod? So happy you two prolific ass content generating machines been taking breaks. I finally got to catch up on my stories. Moving on two different countries in under moving to two different countries in under 2 years took a toll on my time and sanity. The pod definitely helped keep it together.
That's a lot of movement, maybe.
Congrats. Glad we can help. Anyway, fam, y'all been showing out for real. Karen hit that something's a foot pun and I lost it. Come through, Karen, with the on point pun. Original flavor McNice is now a motherfucking core memory of comedy, but dog, Occam's racism on the fucking fly live on air. The fuck, I lost my shit. and was in awe of that kind of clever ass wit in real time. That shit was crazy. Fucking golf clap for real. Thank you, buddy. I was very proud of that. I made the title of the show. Congratulations on all the success with game theory and you all's upcoming endeavors. Y'all been out here honing your craft in the hyperbolic time chamber and shit. LOL. So success is a natural progression of all the hard work. What's that Shakespeare shit? All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. We are living this quote for real right now. I just want to thank you all for being genuine and never disrespecting what you built by coming out here doing some lazy, disingenuous performing for the lowest ass common denominator, bullshit ass audio version of a black Twitter argument on your show just to go viral or whatever. Thank you. You know, honestly, I was never even tempted to do that, but I whenever I see those clips going viral, there's a tiny part of me that's like, what the fuck do we have to do? You know what I mean? Now it immediately like it
but
comes,
like we doing it wrong.
it comes and goes like that.
It
It comes and goes like in less than a second. But whenever I see one of those like million views and it's just the scummiest, worst, most reductive, insulting conversation, it is deepening the divide between men and women. It is exacerbating it. It is promoting it. It wants us to be miserable, and yet the people love it. They share it, even if it's the shit on it.
They do.
Those clips are getting millions of plays, you know. Those and they're shysters and grifters, in my opinion, because when you look at like the content they put online, it's crafted to make it look like a room full of people showed up to watch black men tear black women down and vice versa. And I think it's disgusting, and yet everyone's drawn to it. And we're always, you know, there'll be a new one. That's the good news. None of these motherfuckers seem to like truly last. Like, not since Kevin Samuels has one of these people been like the person.
Everybody trying though.
Everyone's trying to get his crown or his brunch boots, I guess. Everyone's trying on his brunch boots like Cinderella slippers, and none of it fit. But the damage I think they're doing is just so harmful and toxic. And I'm glad that we didn't do that shit and give into that. It's enough people.
Yeah, because it's not
doing
it's not our personality. We would not be true to ourselves.
Yeah, I think it's just disgusting too. But yeah, you guys have always shown that you understand how dope and authentic medium of podcasting can and should be. And to quote Karen, not trying to be funny, but yo, their favorite podcast could never. Tips Nation spoiled as fuck, and I don't care. I like it over here. LOL. So again, shout out to y'all all the way from Mauritius. Is that Greece?
You know what that said on the map, baby.
An extremely grateful fan. Love and gratitude. Your boy KJ. P.S. Pics of the Mauritian sunrise from my backyard. Y'all want to see these pics?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I like pics.
Let's see. Pull them up for y'all. And this email.
Somebody said it's Africa.
Oh, it's
off
Africa.
the coast of Madagascar.
Oh my God, it is beautiful.
Oh, that's gorgeous, baby.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, that is beautiful.
That's where you live, man. Shit, that's worth moving twice. What's the rent like? Let us know. Okay. Let us know. What's the squatters' rights like? Maybe we can go over there
and squat.
We can squat in somebody's house, take care of an old lady till she died, and now we got Mauritian sunsets every night. I don't know. That looks amazing though. All right, that's it for the show, for the feedback. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to y'all soon. I know Father's Day is tomorrow, so my dad will be here. So we're definitely doing that show tomorrow.
Yes, and the chat room knows that when y'all come in, if y'all have any questions, you know, we answer them live on the air.
Yep. So until then,